Welcome to the Hashimoto's Doctor Podcast. You're now part of a growing community of people determined to take their health back through education and self-empowerment. But because of the healthcare system today, we don't have access to the types of healthcare that we want. So we have to do things differently. We've got to do things smarter, and we do that by becoming our own advocates. This podcast will give you the perspective and thoughts of one of the world's leading Hashimoto's doctors. So let's get started. Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Dr. Shook here. What I wanted to talk about today is something that I see a lot, and I want to make sure that you guys understand this. So one of the most common complaints that I hear in practice is that the person is fatigued, they don't have any energy, and they have brain fog as well. But really, let's just say fatigue, right? It's probably one of the most common complaints that I hear. And, it's, there's so many different things that can happen with your body chemistry that can cause fatigue. It's not, that's why there's not one pill for it, because, everything from inflammation, to anemia, to blood sugar dysregulation, to adrenal gland dysfunction, all these things and hormonal imbalances and more deficiencies, all these things can promote fatigue. There's a ton of things that can promote fatigue. And one of the things that I want to share with you guys that promotes fatigue that's really important to understand, it's one of the first things that I look at is anemia. And if you're not familiar with what anemia is when you have a decreased ability. It revolves around hemoglobin and hematocrit, which are we measure them. They're in the red blood cells. Okay, so when we're talking about anemia, it means that your red blood cells cannot carry oxygen efficiently to the tissues of your body. Either they're the wrong size, shape, or color or quantity. They have a decreased ability to carry the oxygen where it needs to go, and therefore the cells of your body cannot produce energy. You will be fatigued for sure if you're anemic. And if you've ever been anemic, and I would say that it's been my experience that there are a lot of women, and I'm sure that this is true, but women are typically, they understand anemia, or they've experienced it more than men, because menstrual cycles are very commonly causes of anemia, especially if they're irregular, right? If they're very heavy, then the bleeding itself can cause you to lose blood, lose iron, and your white blood cell count is either, can be low, especially when you're bleeding, if you're bleeding excessively, and your iron levels can drop, and it can cause you to develop anemia, especially microcytic anemia. So the red blood cells they have a size that we consider to be normal. And if you lose iron, the pattern you'll find is the blood cells get small or smaller in size, and they call it microcytic anemia. There are lots of anemias, but the most common is probably an iron deficiency where it's a smaller size. And then also, there's a megaloblastic anemia, but that's not usually due to the menstrual cycle, where the blood cells are larger in size, most commonly due to the body's inability to use B vitamins effectively to help the blood cells mature. So they're too big and they can't carry oxygen. So anyway, really important. Want to share that with you guys and just tell you today, quick podcast about this connection between fatigue and anemia. So anyway, guys, hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. As always, I appreciate you so much hanging out with me, and I hope that the information I share helps to make a positive impact on your life so that we can help you, your community, your family, and ultimately change the world. And I'm on a mission to help you guys become your own advocates, be better educated so you can take your health back and really be better partners with your healthcare providers. So appreciate you so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed hanging out behind the scenes with Dr. Shook. You can also talk with and learn from Dr. Shook through Facebook Live on our Facebook page at the Office of Dr. Brad Shook. Don't forget, you can also get access to our videos, guidebooks, and thyroid programs at www.drbradshook.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget one more thing. We can change the world one person, one family, and one community at a time. Until next time, remember, today is your day, and no one will tell you who you are and what you can be.